Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, the 22nd of September. Wow. It has been a lovely weekend, is the only way to describe it. We've got Charlie Kirk's memorial. We've got Taliban talking about military bases. We've also got State of Palestine. There's some crazy stuff going on out there. There's some lovely stuff going on out there. But let's dive into the news. Drew, what have you got for us today?
Well, I think the top news of the day is obviously tens of thousands gathered at State Farm Stadium in Arizona for the memorial of Charlie Kirk. And I must say, Paul, I was watching and I was blubbering. It was so heartfelt. Even if you think that it was all staged, the memorial was so touching that I would say if you didn't feel any emotion, you're completely dead inside.
Yeah, it was an absolutely beautiful memorial. I mean, that stadium holds 63,400 people. Thousands of people were being turned away outside because the stadium was full to capacity. And I mean, it was a constant stream being turned away. I mean, we saw all sorts of people turn up. We had President Trump there, who called Charlie Kirk an American hero. Erica, Charlie Kirk's wife, forgave the shooter. I mean, how hard must those words have been for her to speak them to a crowd of 63,000? I mean, it was phenomenal, and it went on for 5 hours as well. 5 hours. That's massive. Absolutely massive. And I honestly think it was just beautiful.
And also, the good thing is that, I mean, let's talk about the security. Police detained a man allegedly armed with a gun outside the memorial service, which was already under heavy security. There wasn't much. People tried to disturb the peace. Reporters say fewer than 10 counter-protesters turned up outside the service. So I can't even believe the 10 had a front to do that, to be honest. I mean, how sick do you have to be, to think of these things and actually act upon them as well?
Why even protest at a memorial service? I mean, come on, people. This is the mentally unhinged far left that are out there. They are mentally unhinged. Dare I say it, when they used to have mental asylums, do you think they would have been in them?
Maybe so. I've got one for you as well. Apparently, the alleged assassin Tyler Robinson's court case number is 251403576. Add up those digits and the total is 33. It's just a coincidence, obviously mathematically, but it will feed speculation. And lastly, about Charlie Kirk, before we go on to other news, Senator Mike Lee has introduced the Charlie Kirk Act, designed to restore parts of the old Smith-Mundt Act, limiting government propaganda. So Congress is preparing for a heated debate.
Well, everybody, my first big story of the day, and this is one I've been waiting to find out for an incredibly long time. US President Donald Trump is expected to make a major announcement today regarding the causes of autism. While details remain limited, the White House has confirmed that the president will address new findings or initiatives related to the condition, which affects millions of children and families across the country. And reactions are expected to vary depending on the claims and proposals presented. We'll bring you full coverage as the announcement unfolds. And I can tell you now, autism is just spiking up beyond belief, and nobody is trying to tackle this. So I tip my hat to President Trump. I tip my hat to RFK Jr. because they are taking the fight to them, and I can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
They definitely need Dr. Brian Ardis on board. He's absolutely magnificent, and obviously, having an autistic child myself, I'm really skeptical about if they're going to bring us new news that we don't know of, because obviously you've done so many interviews with people regarding autism. Is it just for the normies to wake up to the fact that what's causing it, Or is it something that I will find out, something new perhaps, but detoxing all the way is definitely a must, in my opinion.
Well, Drew, I think we're going to find out today, and maybe this will be a big swat at certain things, but anybody out there who wants to find out more about the causes of autism, check out our previous videos. I've interviewed loads of doctors. They are all coming out with the same stuff. It's food, it's whatever you stick in your arm, it's drugs, you name it. They are root causes for autism, but let's wait and find out, eh?
Exactly. Well, my next story, Paul, is the UK airport cyber attack. Experts say, wait for it, who do you think's to blame?
Go on, say Russians, I dare you.
Exactly. Russia was behind the major cyber attack on British airports, including Heathrow. NATO coordination on cyber defence is expected. Digital warfare is now as dangerous as conventional attacks.
Well, Drew, I'm a little bit nerdy around the edges. You can make an attack look like it's coming from wherever you want, and that is a hard fact. So I'm taking it with a pinch of salt, but yes, loads of UK airports and some other European airports were all hit over the last few days, and it did disrupt a lot of people's holidays.
Well, note to self, it wasn't my son.
Well, my next story, the Trump administration has announced new rules requiring journalists covering the Pentagon to sign a pledge not to publish unauthorized information. Reporters who refuse could lose access, and much of the Pentagon is now off limits without an escort. Press freedom groups and major news outlets have condemned the move, warning it undermines independent reporting and the public's right to know about military affairs. Officials say the rules are meant to protect security, but critics call it a serious First Amendment concern. I'm all for freedom of speech, but on this one, certain military secrets need to be kept secret, and having reporters wandering around quite possibly the most secure building in the US and listening to private conversations, everything else. So on this one, I think I'm backing up President Trump on this.
Next up, Labour politics. Party insiders claim Ed Miliband is plotting a comeback against Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Leadership unity will be tested. Infighting risks weakening Labour ahead of the next election. Will he make a difference, Paul?
What are you talking about, Drew? I'm not touching Labour or Conservative with a barge pole, because, let's be fair, those two parties have single-handedly done more damage to the UK in the last 50, 100 years than anybody else at the moment. They're just part of the uniparty. They all just pass the baton to each other and just do whatever their master's bidding is. That's the truth. Well, my next story, Afghanistan's Taliban government has rejected President Trump's ultimatum demanding the return of Bagram Air Base to US control. Deputy spokesman Hamdullah Fitrat said such demands violate the 2020 Doha Agreement, which guaranteed Afghanistan's territorial independence as US forces withdraw. The Taliban stress they remain open to cooperation with Washington, but insist no American military presence will be allowed on Afghan soil. Bagram, once the US's main hub for counter-terrorism operations, has been under Taliban control since the troop withdrawal.
Next up on Friday, 1,072 people crossed the English Channel in small boats, 13 separate boats, averaging about 82 people per boat. This came despite the UK-France one-in, one-out return deal. That deal means for every migrant returned to France, the UK accepts one migrant from France under certain eligibility criteria. It's meant to reduce irregular crossings. The Home Office says only 3 migrants have been deported so far under that deal.
Oh, Drew, come on. This is all puff, smoke and mirrors is the only way to describe it. One in, one out. Well, that's not actually solving the situation. You're just swapping an illegal one for one that decided to give their name, address and passport details over. Well, that isn't actually helping the migration situation at all. And the fact that there's only been 3 means that this was only ever a token gesture. This was never meant to be done seriously, like the South Africa thing. They deported one migrant, and I believe he found his way back to the UK using the money that we gave him. So you've got to sit here and laugh at these policies the government come out with. There is only one way to deal with this, and it's gunboats in the channel, stopping the boats physically, and then putting them all on some island off the coast that's very cold and proving whether they're very serious. And if they've ditched their passport, no way are they getting in. Just my personal opinion. Anyway, my next story. Cool, I went off on one then, Drew, didn't I? Iran says it will halt cooperation with the UN's nuclear watchdog after the UN Security Council voted to reimpose sanctions. The decision follows Britain, France and Germany triggering a snapback mechanism tied to the 2015 nuclear deal. Tehran had recently reached an agreement with the IAEA to resume inspections, but now says European actions have derailed that progress. Iran denies developing nuclear weapons, but blames Western nations for undermining diplomacy, while Russia insists it does not recognise the sanctions. Well, speaking to Warren Thornton, he said the inspectors were actually spotting for the bombers and everything, giving details of where everything was inside there. So Iran not trusting them, don't blame them.
Next up, authorities in Malaga, Spain has confirmed a body was found in Manilva area on the Costa del Sol in the search for a British man who disappeared in August. The man had been missing for some time. Local media reports he disappeared in August, and the find has revived investigations. Meanwhile, another case, a 76-year-old Clifford Wildgoose from Whitbury, North Yorkshire, was last seen in Marbella around 2 a.m. on Saturday. His phone and passport were left at a friend's apartment, and concerns mounted when his bank card was used multiple times. He was found nearly 48 hours after by a tourist near a supermarket, dehydrated and unaware of where he'd been, then taken to the hospital.
Well, Drew, my next one. Portugal has officially recognised the state of Palestine, joining the UK, Canada and Australia in the same move. Foreign Minister Paulo Rangel stressed the decision is not against Israel, but in support of peace and Palestine self-determination. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry has praised Portugal's announcement as a courageous step consistent with international law. The timing is significant, coming just days before the UN General Assembly summit, where the Israel-Palestine conflict and efforts to revive the two-state solution are expected to dominate the agenda.
And my last story. News reports claim Russia secretly developed a special poison to kill opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died in prison earlier this year. Yulia Navalnaya says 2 independent foreign laboratories tested biological samples smuggled out of Russia and concluded he was poisoned. She also points to CCTV footage from the day of his death as further evidence of a cover-up. Russian officials continue to deny the allegations, insisting he died of natural causes. Western governments are now reviewing the intelligence, which could trigger fresh diplomatic pressure on Moscow.
Well, everybody, my last story of the day. Vietnam's Duc Phuc has taken home the top prize at the 2025 Intervision Song Contest, not to be mistaken for the Eurovision Song Contest, which was held in Moscow. The pop star, already a household name in Vietnam, announced he'll donate part of his 30 million ruble winnings, about $358,000, to charity, including a foundation in Russia. Phuc, who rose to fame after winning Vietnam's version of The Voice, wowed audiences with his ballad Phu Don Thien Vong, earning I'm just going to do that bit again because that tickled me. Phuc, who rose to fame after winning Vietnam's version of The Voice, wowed audiences with his ballad Phu Dong Thien Vuong, earning the highest marks from both jury and fans. He also expressed hopes of collaborating with Russian artists in the future. Well, everybody, that was the news you missed on Monday, the 22nd of September 2025. Exciting. We can't wait to find out what President Trump's going to say today on autism. Hopefully, this is going to blow the lid off and actually start our children getting healthier again. And who knows what's going on for the rest of this week, so stay tuned. All that's left for me to say is to take care, God bless, and goodbye.
Bye bye.